Alright, Violet and Linhart. See how this goes.
Hmm. Ah, yes. Professor, what brings you out so late?
I can ask you the same, Linhart. I'm sure it's probably something like, oh, well, I was reading and lost track of time.
I've been worrying about something. I asked you once to help me achieve my goal of being a person who can simply nap all day. Then I thought, if the world becomes a peaceful place, all my crest research might be for naught.
Well, why is that, Linhart?
Well, I don't see how crests have much use in times of peace. Certainly there are crests that make you stronger and could be used in engineering. And I suppose crests that increase magical abilities might help doctors heal injuries. Still, the possibilities seem limited. It's as if crests were designed to be used only in times of war. Their power meant to bring about death and destruction.
Maybe you're right.
I cannot prove what I say is true, but suppose for a moment that it is. The longer this war goes on, the more useful my crest research becomes. But if the war were to end today, we would go on living, perhaps not using the power of our crests at all. It is truly my dream to be a crest scholar, but I also dream of all the wonderful naps peace would bring. Saying it all out loud, it feels a rather stupid thing to worry over. Knowledge or peace? Sleep or war?
Uh, hmm. Well, if you think it's stupid, don't worry about it, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess that's the one I lean towards most. Come on, Linhart.
You know, you're right. In the end, maybe it's not that stupid after all. It certainly isn't to me. Although if I stop researching crests, I'll have one less excuse to spend time with you.
Aw, buddy.
Professor, don't make faces like that.
Don't say things like
People like
that.
you, who listen to my blathering and then nod and smile as though what I say matters, people like you are very precious to me.
I guess that's why Violet and Linhart have an S rank pairing. Ooh, let's find out about the bee.
Ah, Dorothea. I am surprised to find you here. I did not think you were all that religious.
There's a lot you don't know, Ferdy. But you're right. I'd hardly call myself devout. After all, it was thanks to the goddess and her noble regime that I suffered so much as a child.
You must be quite brave to speak so coarsely in this hallowed place. But what do you mean about suffering as a child?
Do I really have to tell you? Oh, forget it. I'm sure you already know that I'm an orphan. I grew up in the alleys of Enbar, begging for coins, eating scraps, drinking from drains.
I see. I remember seeing street children around the city.
I could have died. Then the right person overheard me singing. And suddenly I was in the opera. I was a songstress. And my goodness, did the nobles like me. The people who used to spit on me and call me an urchin, they praised my voice and my beauty. A nobleman who once kicked me gave me the most gorgeous shoes. I almost asked if it was a joke.
So that is why you despise the nobility. But why do you think I am the same as them? Do you really believe that is the kind of man I am? You think I would ever treat people differently based on appearances? There is nothing noble about that.
Oh, really? You're something different? That's not how I remember things. It was the very day that I was discovered. I was in high spirits. Nothing was wrong in the world. I secretly bathed in one of the town's fountains, hoping to wash off some of the dirt from the streets. I sang the same song the opera composer overheard earlier that day. And that's when you appeared.
Ooh.
Me? No, It could not have been.
Don't play dumb. You glared at me, the same look I'd gotten from every other noble, then you ran off. When we met at the academy, you were a different person. All smiles and friendly words. You were like a bee, Ferdinand. A bee attracted to a flower in full bloom.
So it was you then, singing that song. Dorothea, please listen. This is a misunderstanding. When I saw you, I could not take my eyes off you. I was hypnotized. Your beautiful voice, your elegant face, droplets of water on your skin that glittered in the sun. I thought you were a water nymph.
Stop it, don't lie to me.
No, it is true. I was only a child. The vision overwhelmed me. That is why I ran. I plucked up the courage to return, but no one was there. I thought perhaps it was a dream.
Maybe I can believe you. I've wanted to, ever since the day you made me those traits. I thought then that maybe you weren't like the others, but there's a lot I have to let go of, Ferdy.
Of course. I am glad we had this conversation. You know, I do not mind you thinking of me as a bee. Life as a simple drone, circling a queen. It actually sounds quite wonderful.
Don't drones keep the queen safe from other bugs? I like the sound of that.
Wow, Ferdy, smooth talker. Yeah, there's a lot more there than I remembered. That's for sure.
Catherine, Thunderbrand, I'm here to see it.
Well, that came out of the blue.
I wish for you to show me Thunderbrand so I may better understand the relic before I attempt to use it.
You want to use Thunderbrand. Is this a joke?
By no means. My research demands this next step.
Have you paid any attention to your training? If you use a hero's relic that doesn't match your crest, you'll become a demonic beast.
I am well aware of what became of Miquelon Gautier. It is true that those lacking a crest are easily turned into demonic beasts when attempting to use any relic. However, research indicates that if you have a crest, even if the relic is not compatible, it's less likely that you will be transformed against your will.
Less likely doesn't mean impossible. I won't let you take such a dangerous gamble.
There's no recorded example of a transformation occurring after a single use of a relic. One attempt is barely a gamble. So, as a man of science, let me use it just once.
Nope, never.
Oh, wow.
Let's say you're right and I do become a demonic beast. What of it? I'm the only one who will be inconvenienced. And I've already made preparations to be subdued should that occur. I fail to see your problem.
You're a fool. Don't talk about the hero's relics like they're toys to play with.
Fine then, forget I asked. There is no persuading you when you're angry. Let us resume this conversation another time.
If you come back another time, you'll find my position hasn't changed.
Alright, that was fun. I should work on that support some more. Speaking of fun with Catherine.
Hey, Caspar. You look more troubled than usual.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the last time we talked. I really admire your strength, and I want to be like you on the battlefield. But I don't agree with your idea of justice. If that's the case, is it bad for me to look up to you? I'm not sure how to feel anymore.
I can't answer that. You'll need to find the answer on your own. I can offer one piece of advice, however.
Sure, anything will help.
When I told you I would cut down children with no hesitation, you looked disgusted. I take it that's the part you're struggling to accept?
Pretty much. I don't think I'd be able to do it, even if that meant disobeying orders.
Well, what if the children had their own weapons? What if they were trying to kill you?
Well, maybe if it was in self-defense, but even that...
What if the children were killing each other? Let's say their families had been slaughtered and they sought revenge. How would you stop the killing? Who would you strike down?
I don't know. I'd have to see what's going on for myself, but even then,
When you witness these horrors in person, it's no easier to decide. In fact, the decision is harder. Choosing to end or spare a life, whether to save someone or abandon them, these choices are always difficult.
Having to choose between life and death.
You have a strong sense of justice. You have clearly defined ideals. But that's not an asset on the battlefield. Ideals slow you down. They cause inner conflict. Making decisions in the spur of the moment, you can't hope to be perfectly fair and just. That's why I choose to fight for Lady Rhea's justice. The justice of the Church of Seiros.
But what about when Lady Rhea's ideals don't really line up with yours? Then what?
Not possible. Lady Rhea's ideals are my ideals. There's no conflict between them because that's what I've decided. Do you see?
I don't get it. You can't possibly agree on everything.
I have faltered in the past.
That's what I'm talking about. How can you blindly trust some other person's sense of justice?
Not a person, the goddess. I cared about someone, and they were branded a criminal. That's when I started down this path. I didn't know whether to turn a blind eye or mete out punishment.
What did you do?
I couldn't decide, so I looked to the goddess for guidance. Since then, I have devoted myself completely to the goddess. I surrender myself wholly to her will. So think carefully, Caspar. To what will you devote your sword and your heart?
Well, so much for the fun part. I kind of managed to forget what Caspar and Catherine talked about the first time. But now I remember. But hey, let's get Shamir in here.
Go!
Shamir, look out! Ah!
Caspar! Are you alright? Talk to me!
Shamir!
Lower your voice. I'm right here.
Look out! The enemy's right! We're in the infirmary?
Correct. It took you a while to wake up. You nearly died protecting me. Why did you do something so reckless?
Well, I saw that you were in trouble, and...
Is this your attempt to take responsibility for your father's actions? I don't need your pity, Caspar.
Wait a minute. I do feel guilty for what my father did to the Dagdans, but this has nothing to do with that. I saw you were in danger and my body moved before I could even think about it. That's all.
You are still a fool. Learn to protect yourself before trying to protect me. There's no point in losing one life to save another. Yours holds just as much value as mine.
I understand what you're saying, but...
However, I cannot deny that I owe you a debt. Thank you, Caspar. And I apologize.
For what? You didn't do anything.
For when we spoke before. I may have been too harsh. I cannot hold a grudge against someone who would risk his life for mine. That said, you need not worry about me.
Yeah, glad to hear it. But I gotta say, not worrying about you is a lot easier said than done.
Okay. I have no idea what either of these supports is going to be like, so let's find out together.
Oh, is that Sedith? Wow, he looks really deep in thought. I wonder what he's writing. A secret diary, maybe?
That phrase doesn't quite work, does it? Let's see about an alternative.
Too uncertain for a diary. Maybe it's a letter. Or a poem.
No, that's bound to introduce misunderstanding. Precision is the key.
It must be really important if he's putting that much thought into every word.
But I mustn't overcomplicate things either. Parting words ought to be precise.
Parting? It's a farewell letter? Is he writing his resignation? Said it can be a little scary sometimes, but I hope he doesn't leave. It'd be sad to see him go. He shouldn't make such rash decisions. If he's unhappy about something, he should tell someone.
That's what the letter is for, Bernadetta.
Come now. Do you really think I would resign?
You heard all that?
If you don't wish to be heard talking to yourself, then you should not speak so loudly. I'm sorry to hear that you find me intimidating.
I'm sorry! I won't disturb you ever again!
Wait, Bernadetta! Ah, typical behavior for the girl. Most concerning. Can she really go through life this way?
Oh, well, you can tell that's definitely pre-time skip conversation, but it's fine.
Okay, I must drop off these papers with Bernadetta. I'm not sure how to go about this. She's as timid as a mouse, and that's when speaking to people her own age. She'll likely scream the second she sees me. Maybe this is a mistake. All that noise is going to frighten the other students.
Hi. Can I help you?
Ah, hello. I have some business with Bernadetta. I wasn't sure how to approach her.
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but okay. What business do you have with Bernie?
I was supposed to deliver this, you see. Perhaps you can take it off my hands?
Right. Thanks for taking the time.
No trouble at all. Here it is.
Thanks. I'm going to head in now, if that's okay.
Whew, that's quite a relief. How kind of Bernadetta's friend, making that delivery for me.
Eloise?
Wait a second. That was Bernadetta. But it couldn't have been. She spoke so normally. She didn't act frightened at all. In fact, she was quite friendly. Ouch! Oh, yes, it still hurts when I pinch my cheek, so I'm not dreaming. I'm glad the ordeal's done with, but now I feel terribly confused. I'm a little worried.
Expert use of camera angle to hide the fact that they didn't have a cheek-pinching animation. I see what they did there. Alright, this should be good. Hopefully, maybe.
Dorothea? You look as if something's terribly wrong.
I do? Oh, nothing's wrong. Not really. I've just been thinking about the future. And what happens when the war is over.
And tell me, what is your vision of the future like?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I guess I don't know what to expect. In my life, I've met all sorts of people who've lived lots of different ways. So now I'm trying to figure out how I want to live. I'm free, unlike so many people. I have the ability to take control of my own fate. Like you.
Well, I quit the opera to join the Officers' Academy as a professor. Then I joined this war because, well, I don't know. I'm hoping for an end to it. Peace for the world. Even though I took control of my own fate, I still haven't found the man of my dreams.
You'll find him. He's out there somewhere. You know, there is one thing I want for the future.
So, you've got a dream after all.
Well, it's a dream I've always had. You'll think this is silly, but I'd like to stand beside you.
I don't get it.
When you left the opera company, I took your place. I stood center stage and sang, and everyone cheered for me. I wish the cheers were for me and you. I wish we stood on that stage together.
I have to tell you something. The first time I saw you on stage, I felt you were the one I wanted to hear sing. I already had plans to leave the opera company. But when I met you, I knew I couldn't leave until I saw you take your rightful place. You're right, though. It would have been nice to stand beside you on stage, even just once.
Maybe we weren't together then, but we're together here, now. And in the future, maybe it won't be so bad if you never find that man of your dreams.
What do you mean by that?
You and me. I won't find a guy either. We can just be together. I think that'd be pretty nice, don't you? Living together and doing whatever we want.
Huh. You know, that could be nice. It'd be like you and me, finally together on stage. The lights shining down, our gowns and jewels sparkling. Just us.
Sparkling in the stage lights forever.
That was pretty good. Alright. Moving right along.
Cyril, you are always having great passion and hard work. You give inspiration.
Aw, just doing my job.
There is no need for showing humility. You work with hardness. I mean, you work hard. It makes me have curiosity. Can you tell me what plans you hold for the future?
The future? I don't know anything about the future, but I'm kinda busy, so can we talk later?
I have had the learning that you are from Elmira. Everyone has the saying that it may be hard to move up in the church for you. But even with that, you always have passion and work with hardness. What fills you with determination?
I work because I work. It's what I do here. And, you know, I really want to make myself useful to Lady Rhea, so I can repay the big debt I owe her. Lady Rhea gave me a home when I didn't have one.
I understand the feeling of need for repaying debts. But does it give you difficulty, being a great distance from your home for so much time?
Elmira's just where I was born. It's not like I've got family there. If you love your homeland and want to go back, then that's nice, but it's not a thing I want to do. I like where I am. The best future I can think of is if things stayed like this forever.
Yes, I have understanding. You and I have similarities. But at the similar time, we have differences.
Maybe. Hey, I still got a lot of work. Better get to it.
Cyril does not want to speak about his land of home? It gives me curiosity.
Well, some people are just like that, Petra. It's fine, don't worry about it. Oh boy, lots of Seteth. Okay.
I know you are there, Hanneman.
Well, say, are those Crest documents? Ah, Seteth, have you finally decided to cooperate with my research?
Absolutely not. For 21 years I have refused your requests. I have no intention of changing my
21
mind.
years?
But I will lend you these documents I have found, on the condition that you stop following me.
I am quite tempted by the offer, but your cooperation would be of much greater value. Your crest, the major crest of Keyhole, is so rare. As far as I am aware, Seteth, you are the only person ever confirmed to bear that particular crest. How did you come to possess it?
My answer is the same as every other time you have asked. I do not know. I was born a commoner, with no connections to any crests. There are no records of my lineage.
Oh, please. That thin explanation could never discourage me. You must understand, I will dig until I find the truth, no matter how long it takes.
You are wasting your time. I cannot give you the answers you seek. Even if you were to discover the reason why I bear the major crest of Keyhole, I doubt it would satisfy you.
That is for me alone to decide. And even if you are correct, that confirmation itself would be a valuable discovery. Such is the way of research, yes?
I'm afraid I cannot attest to that. I'm no scholar. In any case, if you really have no need for the documents, you will not mind if I dispose of them.
Let's not do anything hasty now. I will leave you alone, for now, but I am taking these documents with me. Once I complete my research on these papers, it'll be your turn, Sethith. I will learn the truth of your crest.
It is a pointless endeavor. You will learn nothing from me, no matter how much you try.
Perhaps his stubborn nature is one of the effects of his crest. Now that would be an interesting discovery. The first stage of my research will be to decipher his personality.
Oh, Hanneman.
Manuela, a moment?
Oh, hello, Sethith. I must apologize, but I am quite busy. Perhaps we could talk another time?
I have already confirmed that you have no urgent business. I would like to hear your explanation now.
Oh, no.
My explanation? For what?
Allow me to be more specific. Where were you, and what were you doing last night?
Oh, my dear Sethith. You must relax that worried brow. Those forehead creases will ruin your beauty.
Just answer the question, please.
What question is that? The one you already know the answer to? Last night I had a bit of fun and a bit of drink. Less of one and more of the other, sure, but...
How much you drink is not my concern. But you are an adult who is tasked with the supervision of children. You should not be causing trouble for the students. It is unacceptable for you to expose them to your disgraceful behavior. Even more so to impose upon them the labor of cleaning up your mess.
Oh, don't oversell it. All they did was walk with me back to my room.
From what I hear, you had to be carried.
I'd like to think I'd remember that. If it happened, and it probably didn't, it's not as if I'm heavy. Nobody hurt themselves. Did they? Come on, Sethith. Loosen up. If you're so worried about how I'll behave, why don't you join me for a drink sometime? I mean, I only get in trouble when I drink alone.
If it will help to improve your behavior, I would not object to accompanying you from now on.
Wow.
Well, that sounds just delicious. What are you doing tonight, around...
But first I will lecture you on all of the intricacies of proper behavior in the supervision of children. And until I am done, you will not drink a drop of alcohol. If you agree to those conditions, I will join you. I will even drink with you. Alcohol has little effect on me.
That is just... You know, getting lectured by you is... Well, I think the word is torture. Yes, that's it. Torture. And I won't have it. I'm going to go get a drink and try to forget this ever happened.
How is it that you imagine yourself the tortured one?
Alright, you know what? That's pretty good. I'm gonna have to work on that one as well.
Hey, Sethith. I got a delivery for you.
Thank you, Cyril. Would you mind waiting just a moment for me to confirm the contents?
Sure thing.
All seems to be accounted for. I lack the time to handle tasks of this kind myself. I appreciate you making the effort. Is there anything I can assist you with? Do you have any concerns?
Concerns? Nah, I'm happy just working for Lady Rhea. I got a way better life now than I ever did before.
If your better life is this frugal, I have to wonder what your previous experience was like. It must not have been easy before you came to us. But you should know that is in the past now. You are young, you should be enjoying life. Do not allow your past to overshadow that. Is there nothing you desire? We will support you in any way we can.
Really, there's nothing. Except... Nah, it's okay.
Except?
I don't got anywhere else to go, and I just want to be able to stay here forever.
This place Lady Rhea gave me, it's the only place I know to call home.
I will keep that in mind.
Well, I got work to do. Excuse me.
Of course. I apologize for delaying you.
Can only wonder where that's gonna go. Hey, how about Sedithan, or...
Hello,
God.
Professor Manuela. I wish you to know that I have heard ever so much about your talents.
Whatever are you talking about, Flame?
Singing! Why, you are wonderfully skilled at it, are you not? Why, I have even overheard people saying your voice is akin to the singing of a goddess.
It makes me happy to hear. But who told you that?
Oh, the students are always speaking of it, which got me to thinking, I may be the only person in all of the Academy who's never heard your beautiful voice in song. So, I was wondering, Manuela, might you sing a little something for me?
Your request is touching, but I can't perform on such short notice. My voice is an instrument and requires proper gentle care. However, the stories are true. I was once the leader of the Middle Franc troupe, but that was a long time ago.
Middle Franc? What do those words mean precisely?
You've never heard of the Middle Franc troupe? Before the war, it was the single most popular opera company in the imperial capital. I used to sing on stage with them. I was the star, in fact.
Oh, wow! In all of Enbar? They must not have been around when I was living there.
You used to live in Enbar?
Indeed. Although I was quite a bit younger at the time. It is where I was born, as a matter of fact.
Oh, well, you must have been too young to hear about us.
Yes, that could be. And what precisely is the function of an opera troupe?
You don't know what an opera troupe is? Well, it's a group of performers like myself who act out stories on stage in front of a big audience. Stories with lots of singing.
I understand now. I certainly have experience in the fine art of storytelling. There is often singing as a part of story time for the children at the monastery.
That is darling, Flame. But I'm not sure it's quite the same thing as an opera. You see, operas are performed in grand theaters with orchestral accompaniment. Everyone attending wears their finest. It is a very special occasion.
Theaters, they're called? You mean to say that there are buildings exclusively used for telling stories?
You've never even heard of a theater? You're an intelligent girl, Flame, and the world is full of wonders. You have a lot left to discover.
It's always fun to see Flame almost letting it slip what her deal is. At least I think so.
Manuela, I would like to apologize. The other day, I said some things to you that I am, well, not proud of in the least.
Oh no, Hanneman. It is I who should be apologizing. I behaved in just the most dreadful manner. I was just lashing out at everything. You were right to call me out. Really, and I do very much mean this. I'm so sorry for my behavior.
No, please, pay it no mind. Actually, I'm thankful for what you said during our conflict.
Thankful?
Yes, you made me realize that I have a somewhat meddlesome nature. Thanks to you, I believe I found an area in which I can improve myself.
I could say the same thing, you know. Your accusations, they really hit home. After I cooled down, I realized you were right. I really ought to try and keep my emotions a bit more under control.
Well, that's good to hear. It seems this wasn't a fruitless clash for either of us.
Oh, indeed. nothing more depressing than a pointless fight, is there? Don't you wonder, though, just how many times we've had this same argument?
We do always seem to be at one another's throats before we even realize it. I don't know how we manage to keep it up.
You're not wrong.
Oh, here it comes. Maybe?
Something the matter, Hanneman?
Well, it's just... you don't smile like that very often. But when you do, it is quite charming. Perhaps your struggles in love are due to your reliance on false affection instead of your more natural charms.
There it
Oh,
is.
thank you for the compliment. Even if you did have to spoil it with criticism. If you weren't so judgmental all the time, maybe you'd have had more luck in romance yourself.
What? Manuela, as your friend, I was only trying to give you a useful bit of advice.
And that so-called advice is exactly why I call you meddlesome and overbearing. And
There it
there's
is.
Hanneman, who said
Manuela
he was going
begins to
stop being
protest
so
even when she
meddlesome.
knows the fault lies.
Oh, okay. You know what? That's good. We're gonna keep pushing on that one. For sure.
This is unbelievable. Why? Why does it keep happening to me? What's wrong with me?
Are you okay?
I was sure I'd be happy this time. Why, oh why, oh why do I always struggle in love?
Please, let go of my sleeve.
If I let go, you'll just run away, won't you?
Yes.
Nobody wants to listen to my romantic tragedy. But I
Oh,
saw
wow.
you, Cyril, and I thought, Cyril will listen, because Cyril is good people.
Okay, I surrender. What do you want to say?
I knew I could trust you, Cyril. You're such a good boy, such a good young man.
How can I help you? Is it just with listening?
Oh, it's a real tragedy, let me tell you that. Yesterday, I was hitting it off with a man I'd seen a few times at the pub. When I looked in his eyes, I thought he was the one. But then, well, we were drinking and enjoying ourselves, and all of a sudden, poof, gone. He just vanished.
I feel like I've heard this story before.
Can you believe he treated me so cruelly?
Yeah, this is all real familiar.
My heart is in tatters. I can't believe anyone could throw away a woman like me. Cyril, be honest. What's wrong with me?
You drink too much, blame others for your behavior, and you don't understand you gotta love yourself before someone else can love you back.
Maybe he wasn't for me anyway. If you're gonna take off after a few drinks, who needs you, right? I think you're too young to understand, but I also think talking to you made me feel better. Yeah. You know what, Cyril? I'm gonna come talk to you more often.
Oh, poor Cyril. He's read her like a book, and still he has to put up with it. Alright. Aloise, what do you have for me?
Hey, Aloise. Looks like you're done for the day. Care to join me in the dining hall?
Ah, Catherine, how could I refuse?
Nothing like a good drink. I feel better already. The grub's not bad either. This is the perfect way to end a long day of work.
I couldn't agree more. It feels like a weight's been lifted from my shoulders. It's at times like this, when worldly worries fall away, that I can really live in the moment. It's intoxicating.
Worldly worries, live in the moment. Look who's suddenly waxing poetic. Oh, wait, you feel intoxicated before you've had a drop of booze? Talk about a lightweight.
Hello! Just the man I was looking for.
Ah, yes. Were you the fellow selling ancient coins?
Yes, sir. Since our meeting at the antique shop yesterday, I got my hands on something new. here we are. Look at this magnificent coin. Do you see the engraving? It's the crest of House Karen, one of the kingdom's most prominent noble families. It's an exceptionally rare piece, commissioned by a hero 1,000 years ago.
By a hero? 1,000 years ago? I'll take it. How much do I owe you?
For a collector such as yourself, sir, I'm happy to offer it at a discounted price.
Why do I feel like this is a scam?
That'll be...
Hold on. Stop trying to swindle my friend. You're claiming a hero from House Karen had their crest engraved on this coin. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Tell me, as a collector of antiques, are you familiar with this piece? It's a legendary sword.
Ma'am, please, keep your nose out of my... What? Is that Thunderbrand? That's not possible. It couldn't be.
You are familiar with it. Excellent. Perhaps you know how cleanly it slices through liars and cheats.
Ah!
Ah! You're saying that whole story was a lie?
I thought it was obvious.
Well, that is her house after all, so I suppose she would know better than anyone. And lastly, Shamir and Cyril. Let's see what they've got.
Hey Shamir, how do you think I'm doing with my bow lately? Think I'm getting pretty good? I hit closer to the bullseye today, and that felt real good.
You were fine.
Fine? That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Shamir.
You take too many direct shots, though.
But it's easier if you shoot straight.
Of course it is. But if you can hit your enemy with a straight shot, you're too close. Tell me, Cyril, what's an archer's greatest weakness?
When we get too close to the enemy and we can't shoot the way we're supposed to?
Exactly. As an archer, your position is critical. Know exactly how far the enemy is and keep a minimum safe distance. Understood?
You mean to stay away from the enemies, but not too far away or my arrows can't hit them.
So you understand why you can't rely on straight shots. You have to use curved shots as well. Never run up to your target. Hit them from a safe range.
Shoot them from a safe range with curved shots.
Archers should always control the battlefield.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I'm gonna go practice some of those curved shots right now.
You're not a bad student. If nothing else, you have the right attitude.
You think so?
Keep it up.
I will.
Yep, so there you have it. Aim up.